Once upon a time, in the city of Port Harcourt, Rivers State, there lived a young woman named Gazi. Gazi was 25 years old and she had just married the love of her life, a handsome man named Ikenna. They had a beautiful wedding and everyone was happy for them, or so Gazi thought. Gazi was from Anambra State. She was an Igbo girl from a simple family. Her father was a teacher and her mother sold vegetables in the market. They were not rich, but they were good, honest people who trained their daughter well. Ikenna was also Igbo, but he was from Imo State. His family was very rich. His father owned a big transport company and his mother, Mama Ikenna, was a wealthy trader who sold fabrics at the main market. She had so much money that people called her Madam Money. When Ikenna told his mother that he wanted to marry Ngozi, Mama Ikenna was not happy at all. "My son, is it that girl that is from a poor family in Anambra?" she asked, her face squeezed like she had eaten something bitter. "The one whose mother sells vegetables?" "Yes, Mama," Ikenna said firmly. "I love Ngozi and I want to marry her." "But my son, there are many rich girls from our own town who wants to marry you. Girls whose family have money and respect. Why must you marry this girl whose family have nothing?" "Mama, Ngozi is a good woman. She's educated. She works as a nurse and she has a kind heart. That is what matters to me." Mama Ikenna pretended to accept it. She smiled and said, "Okay, my son. If she makes you happy, then I am happy." But this was a lie. Deep in her heart, Mama Ikenna hated Ngozi. She felt Ngozi was not good enough for her son. She wanted her son to marry a rich girl from their own town, a girl she could control. Now she had this daughter-in-law who came from a poor family and a different part of Igbo land. How could she hold her head high among her friends? On the day of the wedding, Mama Ikenna smiled for the cameras. She danced and pretended to be happy. But anyone who looked closely at her eyes could see something cold and dark there, something evil waiting. After the wedding, Ikenna and Ngozi moved into a nice 3-bedroom flat in Port Harcourt. Ikenna worked as an engineer in an oil company and Ngozi worked at a hospital. They were happy together. They would cook together, laugh together, and plan their future. But what Ngozi didn't know was that Mama Ikenna was already planning to destroy her marriage. 1 month after the wedding, Mama Ikenna came to visit. She came with 2 big bags. "My son, my wife," she greeted them with a big smile. "I have come to stay with you for just 1 week. I want to make sure my new daughter-in-law is settling down well." "Mama, you are welcome," Ikenna said happily, hugging his mother. Ngozi smiled too, even though she felt a little uncomfortable. "Mama, welcome to our home." That night, Mama Ikenna insisted on cooking dinner. "You people have been working all day. Let your mother cook for you." She prepared a delicious pot of ofe nsala and pounded yam. The food was very sweet, but what Ngozi and Ikenna did not see was that Mama Ikenna had added something to Ngozi's portion. She had gone to a juju man in her village and collected a special powder. The man had told her that this powder would make any woman become lazy, careless, and slowly start behaving badly. It would then make her husband begin to hate her. While Mama Ikenna was dishing the food in the kitchen, she sprinkled the powder into Ngozi's plate and stirred it into the soup. Then she brought out the food with a sweet smile. "Eat well, my children," she said, watching as Ngozi ate the poisoned food. From that day, strange things began to happen to Ngozi. She started feeling tired all the time. Even when she slept for 8 hours, she would wake up feeling like she had not slept at all. At work, she began to make small mistakes. She would forget which patient needed which medicine. She would write the wrong information on patient files. One day, she nearly gave the wrong injection to a patient. Her supervisor called her. "Nurse Ngozi, what is wrong with you these days?" The supervisor asked with concern. "You used to be one of our best nurses. Now you are making mistakes. Are you sick?" "I don't know, ma," Ngozi said with tears in her eyes. "I just feel tired all the time. Very, very tired." "Go and see a doctor," her supervisor advised. Ngozi went to see different doctors. They ran tests on her. Blood test, malaria test, typhoid test, everything. But all the results came back normal. There was nothing wrong with her medically, yet she felt terrible. At home, things became worse. Gazi started burning food while cooking. She used to be a good cook. Her jollof rice would now burn at the bottom. Her beans wouldn't cook properly. When she tried to clean the house, she would forget where she put things. Ikenna noticed all these changes, but he was patient and loving. Ngo, are you okay? You don't seem like yourself these days.
I don't know what is wrong with me, Gazi cried. I feel like I'm going crazy.
Don't worry, we'll figure it out, Ikenna said, holding her. Maybe you are just stressed. But Mami Ikenna was watching everything with happy evil eyes. Her plan was working. From her house in Owerri, she would call Ikenna every day. My son, how is your wife? She would ask innocently. Mama, I'm worried about her, Ikenna would say. She has been acting strange, always tired, making mistakes, burning food. Hey, Mami Ikenna would exclaim. My son, I told you, these Anambra girls, they are not good housewives. They don't know how to take care of their husbands. But you did not listen to your mother. Mama, it's not like that. Ikenna would defend his wife. Ngozi is sick. We're trying to find out what is wrong. Sick? Hey! My son, she's not sick. She's just lazy. That is how girls from poor families are. They don't know how to work hard. Every day, Mami Ikenna would plant these poisonous words in his son's ears, little by little, like drops of water on a stone. But that was not all. Mami Ikenna had more wicked plans. 3 months into the marriage, Mami Ikenna came again to visit. This time, she brought a young woman with her. Ikenna, Ngozi, see who I brought with me. This is our Daisy. She's our neighbor's daughter from back home. She has come to Port Harcourt to look for work, so I told her she can stay with you people for a few days. Ngozi felt uncomfortable, but what could she say? This was her mother-in-law's request. Adaeze was a very beautiful girl, very fair with long hair. She greeted them respectfully. Good evening, Brother Ikenna. Good evening, Sister Ngozi. Thank you for allowing me to stay in your house. You're welcome, Ikenna said. But what Ikenna and Ngozi did not know was that Adaeze was part of Mami Ikenna's evil plan. Mami Ikenna had told Adaeze, listen, if you can make Ikenna fall in love with you and divorce that useless wife of his, I will give you 5 million naira and make sure he marries you instead. 5 million naira. Adaeze's eyes had sparkled with greed. She came from a poor family too and had never seen such money in her life, so she agreed immediately to the plan. So Adaeze moved into the house. Mami Ikenna said she would stay for a few days, but days turned into weeks. Adaeze was very clever and cunning. Every morning, she would wake up early before everyone and prepare breakfast. When Ikenna came out, he would see the table already set with food. Good morning, Brother Ikenna, Adaeze would say with a sweet smile. I made akam and akara for you. Ikenna would thank her, but he didn't think much of it. He was just happy that someone was helping in the house since Ngozi had been so tired lately. But Adaeze was doing more than cooking. She would clean the house until it sparkled. She would wash and iron Ikenna's clothes. She would go to the market and buy fresh things. She was doing everything that Ngozi used to do but could no longer do because of the juju that was affecting her. Meanwhile, Ngozi would wake up late, feeling heavy and tired. By the time she came out of the bedroom, breakfast was already done. The house was already clean. She began to feel useless in her own home. One day, when Ikenna came back from work, his favorite soup was ready, bitter leaf soup, cooked exactly the way he liked it. Who made this soup? He asked. Adaeze made it, Mami Ikenna said quickly. She had come to visit again for the weekend. That girl is such a hard worker. See how she has been helping in this house. Ikenna looked at Ngozi, who was sitting on the sofa, looking tired and sad. He felt a small prick of disappointment, but he pushed it away. He still loved his wife. But Mami Ikenna kept whispering, my son, you see the difference? Adaeze wakes up early, cooks, cleans, does everything, but your wife just sleeps and sleeps. My son, you married the wrong woman. Mama, please stop, Ikenna said. Ngozi is my wife and I love her. But the seeds of doubts were beginning to grow in his heart. He couldn't help but compare. Before marriage, Ngozi was so active, so capable. Now she seemed like a different person. What Ikenna didn't know was that Adaeze was doing more evil things. When Ngozi was at work, Adaeze would go into her room and tear her clothes slightly so they would spoil. She would move Ngozi's things and hide them so Ngozi would think she was going crazy. She would add salt to Ngozi's food portion when no one was looking. And at night, Adaeze would wear short nightgowns and walk around the house. When she saw Ikenna, she would bend down slowly to pick something, making sure he saw her body. She would touch his shoulders when she spoke with him, and she would laugh loudly at his jokes. At first, Ikenna did not pay attention, but slowly, very slowly, he began to notice Adaeze. She was beautiful, she was helpful and always happy and smiling, not like Ngozi who was always tired and sad. One evening, Ikenna came home from work very late. There had been an emergency at his company. When he entered the house, everywhere was dark except the living room. Adaeze was sitting there wearing a small nightgown watching television. "Welcome, brother Ikenna," she said softly. "You must be very tired. Come and sit down, let me massage your shoulders." Ikenna was indeed very tired. He sat down. Adaeze began to massage his shoulders with her soft hands. She was close to him, very close. He could smell her perfume. "You work so hard, brother Ikenna," Adaeze whispered. "You need a woman who will take care of you properly, a woman who will appreciate you." Something stirred in Ikenna's heart. It was wrong. He knew it was wrong. He quickly stood up. "Adaeze, this is not proper. You should go to bed." Adaeze smiled a secret smile. She was planting seeds. She didn't need to rush. Little by little, she would win. But there was someone who was watching every time. Someone who loved Ngozi too much. It was Mama Ebere, their neighbor in the flat upstairs. Mama Ebere was an old woman, very wise. She had lived a long life and she could smell wickedness from afar. One day, when Ngozi was crying on the balcony, Mama Ebere called her. "My daughter, come upstairs. Let me give you something." Ngozi went upstairs, wiping her tears. Mama Ebere sat her down and gave her water to drink. "My daughter," Mama Ebere said with a serious face, "I have been watching what is happening in your house. That your mother-in-law is a very wicked woman. And that Adaeze, she's a snake. They are using juju on you." Ngozi was shocked. "Juju? But Mama, I'm a Christian. I don't believe in such things." "My daughter, whether you believe it or not, these things are real. Why do you think you're always tired? Why do you think you are making mistakes? Why do you think your husband is starting to look at that girl with different eyes? It is juju."
What can I do? Gazi cried. I don't know anything about these things.
"Listen to me carefully," Mama Ebere said. She brought out a small bottle with olive oil. "This is an anointed oil from my church. Take this oil and pray over your food before you eat. Pray over your body before you sleep. And most importantly, you must be vigilant. Watch that Adaeze carefully. She's planning something big." Ngozi took the oil with shaking hands. She didn't know if she believed in all this juju talk, but she was desperate. She was losing her marriage and she didn't know why. That night, Ngozi prayed seriously for the first time in months. She prayed and cried to God. She asked God to reveal the truth and save her marriage. And God heard her prayer. The next day was Saturday. Ikenna had gone out to play football with his friends. Mami Ikenna had traveled back to Owerri. It was just Ngozi and Adaeze in the house. Ngozi was in her room resting when she heard Adaeze talking on the phone in the living room. She was speaking loudly. She must have thought Ngozi was asleep. "Yes, Mama, everything is going according to plan," Adaeze was saying. "Brother Ikenna is starting to notice me. Last night, I gave him that special massage you told me about. Yes, the juju is working well." "That foolish Ngozi. She's becoming more and more useless every day. Don't worry, Mama. Very soon, your son Ikenna will divorce her and marry me instead. Then you will give me my 5 million naira. You will give me the money, Mama." "Yes, I'm sure." "Okay, Mama. I'll call you later." Ngozi's heart was beating like a drum. 5 million naira, juju, plan. Everything suddenly became clear. The tiredness, the mistakes, the changes in her It was all because of Juju, and Adaeze was working with her mother-in-law to destroy her marriage. Ngozi's hands were shaking with anger, but she needed evidence. She needed Ikenna to see the truth with his own eyes. She remembered that Ikenna had installed a camera in the living room for security. It was hidden in the wall clock. The camera was connected to his phone, but Ngozi knew the password. Ngozi quickly checked the camera recordings from the past week, and what she saw made her blood boil. She saw Adaeze walking around half naked when Ikenna was home. She saw Adaeze touching Ikenna's shoulders, his arms. He saw Adaeze adding things to her food when she thought no one was watching. But most importantly, she found the recording of Adaeze's phone conversation with Mami Ikenna just now. Everything was recorded. Adaeze's heart started beating very fast. She had proof. But she needed more. She needed to catch them in the act. That evening, Ikenna came back from football. He was sweaty and tired. "Darling, welcome," Ngozi said sweetly. "Go and shower. Dinner will be ready soon." Ikenna was surprised. Ngozi had not been this cheerful in months, but he was happy to see her smiling. While Ikenna was in the shower, Ngozi called Mama Ebere on the phone and explained everything she had discovered. Mama Ebere told her exactly what to do. "Pretend you are going out, my dear. Tell them you have night duty at the hospital, but don't go. Hide and watch what will happen. I am sure that snake Adaeze would make her move tonight." Ngozi did exactly as Mama Ebere said. After dinner, she told Ikenna, "Sweetheart, I'm sorry, but they called me from the hospital. There's an emergency. I have to go for night duty." "Ah, but you just finished work. Can't someone else go?" Ikenna asked. "I'm sorry, my love. It is my turn. I'll be back in the morning." Ngozi kissed him and left the house with her bag. But she didn't go to the hospital. She went upstairs to Mama Ebere's flat and waited. Around 10 p.m., Mama Ebere called her. "My daughter, come and look through my window. You can see your living room from there." Ngozi looked down through the window. She could see directly into her living room, and what she saw made her heart stop. Adaeze had changed into a very small nightgown, so small it barely covered her body. She brought out a bottle of wine and 2 glasses. She poured wine in both glasses. Then, when she thought no one was watching, she brought out a small powder from her bra and poured it into 1 glass. It was the same kind of juju powder that Mami Ikenna had been using. Then Adaeze knocked on Ikenna's bedroom door. "But Ikenna, please come out. I want to talk to you about something important," she called sweetly. Ikenna came out wearing his nightshirt. "Adaeze, what is it? I want to sleep." "Please, Brother Ikenna, it's just 5 minutes. Come and sit down. I poured wine for us." Ikenna sighed, went downstairs and sat down. He took the glass that Adaeze offered him, the glass with the juju powder. "Wait!" Ngozi screamed from Mama Ebere's window, but she was too far and Ikenna could not hear her. She watched in horror as Ikenna raised the glass to his lips, but just before he could drink, something amazing happened. The glass slipped from his hand and fell to the ground, spilling all the wine. "Oh, I'm sorry," Ikenna said, looking at the mess. It's okay," Adaeze said, but her face was tight with anger. All that juju medicine had wasted. But Adaeze did not give up. She moved closer to Ikenna on the sofa, very close. "Brother Ikenna," she said in a soft voice, "I've been wanting to tell you something for a long time. I have feelings for you, strong feelings. I mean, I know that you're married to Sister Ngozi, but I can't help how I feel. You're so handsome, so hardworking, so strong." She put her hand on his chest. "I can make you happy, Brother Ikenna. More happy than Ngozi can. Just give me a chance." From the window, Ngozi saw everything. Tears were running down her face. What would her husband do? Ikenna stood up quickly, pushing Adaeze's hand away. "Adaeze, what is wrong with you? I'm a married man. Ngozi is supposed to be your sister. How can you say such things?" But Ikenna, look at her," Adaeze said desperate. "She's useless, always tired, always making mistakes, always burning food. But me, I wake up early, I cook well, I clean the house. I can be a better wife to you. Get out of my sight!" Ikenna shouted. "First thing tomorrow morning, you are leaving this house. What nonsense!" But Adaeze was not done. In her desperation, she tore her own nightgown and began to scream, "Help! Help! But Ikenna is trying to rape me! Somebody help me!" Ikenna was shocked. "What? Are you mad? What are you doing?" Adaeze ran to the door and opened it, screaming loudly. Some neighbors began to come out of their flats. "Help! My sister's husband is trying to force me," Adaeze cried with fake tears. But what Adaeze did not know was that Ngozi had been recording everything on her phone from Mama Ebere's window, and Mama Ebere had also been recording. Ngozi rushed downstairs with Mama Ebere. By now, many neighbors had gathered. "Somebody help me!" Adaeze was crying dramatically. "But Ikenna tried to rape me. He gave me wine with something inside. When I refused to sleep with him, he tore my clothes." Some of the neighbors looked at Ikenna with angry eyes, but Ikenna was so confused he couldn't even speak. Then Ngozi stepped forward. "You are a liar, Adaeze." Adaeze turned around, shocked to see Ngozi. She was supposed to be at the hospital. "Sister Ngozi," Adaeze's eyes widened with fear. "Everybody, please listen," Adaeze said loudly. "This girl is lying. She's the one who tried to seduce my husband, and I have proof." Ngozi played the recording on her phone. Everyone could clearly hear Adaeze confessing her feelings to Ikenna. They could see her putting her hand on his chest. They could see Ikenna pushing her away and telling her to get out. They could see her tearing her own clothes. Then Mama Ebere played her own recording from a different angle, and it showed the same thing. The neighbors began to murmur angrily. "Chai, this girl is wicked though. She tried to seduce her sister's husband. Look at how she tore her own clothes." Adaeze fell to her knees, her evil plans completely exposed. But Ngozi was not finished. She played another recording, the one where Adaeze was talking to Mama Ikenna on the phone. Everyone heard Adaeze say, "Yes, Mama, everything is going according to plan. The juju is working. That foolish Ngozi. The 5 million naira." Ikenna's mouth fell open. His own mother had been planning to destroy his marriage. "Adaeze," Ngozi said coldly, "you have exactly 5 minutes to pack your things and get out of my house. If you are not gone by then, I will call the police." Adaeze ran inside, crying and begging, but nobody had pity on her. She packed her things and left that night with nowhere to go. She had to sleep at the motor park until the next day when she could find transport back to the village. After everyone had gone back into their homes, Ikenna sat down heavily. He looked at Ngozi with tears in his eyes. "Ngo, I'm so sorry. My own mother, she did this to you, to us." Ngozi sat beside him. "Ikenna, I need you to understand something. For the past months, I've been tired, making mistakes, behaving strangely. It was not my fault. It was because of the juju your mother gave me." She explained everything to him. The powder in her food, the tiredness, the confusion, everything. Ikenna cried like a baby. "I almost lost you. I almost let their wicked plan work. Ngozi, please forgive me. I should have believed in you more. I should have protected you better." "It's not your fault," Ngozi said, holding him. "Your mother is very cunning, but God exposed her plans." The next day, they went to Mama Ebere's church. A powerful pastor prayed for Ngozi and broke every curse and juju that had been placed on her. He gave her an anointed oil and holy water, and within 1 week, Ngozi began to feel like herself again. The tiredness disappeared. Her mind became clear. She stopped making mistakes at work. She could cook properly again. It was like she had woken up from a bad dream. As for Mama Ikenna, Ikenna called her on the phone. "Mama, I know what you did," he said quietly. "You tried to destroy my marriage. You used juju on my wife. You brought Adaeze to seduce me. You planned everything." Mama Ikenna tried to deny it at first. "My son, I don't know what you're talking about. That Adaeze girl is lying. We have recordings, Mama. We have proof. I heard your voice planning with Adaeze." There was silence on the phone. Then Mama Ikenna said, "My son, I did it for your own good. That girl was not good enough for you. I wanted you to marry someone better." "Mama," Ikenna said, and his voice was hard like iron. "You are my mother and I will always respect you, but you are not welcome to my house anymore. You tried to destroy my wife, the woman I love. Unless you confess your evil and ask for forgiveness with a sincere heart, I don't want to see you." He hung up the call. It took 2 years before Mami Ikenna finally admitted her wickedness and begged for forgiveness. She had to go to the hospital because the guilt was making her sick. She had nightmares every night. Finally, she humbled herself and came to beg Ngozi and Ikenna. "My daughter, please forgive me," she cried at Ngozi's feet. "I was wicked and jealous. I let pride and status blind me. You are a good woman and you have made my son happy. I am sorry." Ngozi, who had a good heart, forgave her. "Mama, I forgive you, but you must promise never to interfere in our marriage again." "I promise, my daughter. I promise." From that day, Mami Ikenna changed. She learned that money and status are not everything. She learned that wickedness never pays. She learned that real value is in good character, not in wealth or tribe. Ngozi and Emeka lived happily. They had 3 beautiful children. Their marriage became even stronger because they had gone through fire together and came out like gold. As for Adaeze, she went back to the village in shame. No man wanted to marry her because the news of her wickedness had spread. She eventually married a poor drunkard who beat her every day. Every day, she remembered the good life she would have had only if she had not been greedy. The moral lesson of this story reminds us that wickedness and juju will always be exposed by God. No matter how carefully you plan evil, the truth will always come to light. Mami Ikenna and Adaeze thought their plans were perfect, but God exposed everything. Never let anyone, not even your mother, destroy your marriage. Ikenna had to stand up to his own mother to protect his wife. When you marry, your husband or wife becomes your first priority. Money and status are not more important than good character. Mami Ikenna rejected Ngozi because she was poor, but Ngozi had a good heart, and that is worth more than gold. Greed leads to destruction. Adaeze was promised 5 million naira, and it made her agree to do wicked things. In the end, she lost everything and ended up with a terrible life. A good neighbor is a blessing from God. Mama Ebere helped Ngozi when no one else did. Always be kind to your neighbors because you never know when you will need them. Prayer and faith are powerful weapons. When Ngozi prayed sincerely, God answered and saved her marriage. Never stop praying, especially in difficult times. Trust your spouse and stand with them in hard times. Ikenna could have given up on Ngozi when she was acting strange, but he loved her and was patient, and that saved their marriage. Forgiveness is important, but wisdom is also important. Ngozi forgave her mother-in-law, but she also set boundaries. You can forgive people, but also protect yourself from them. Remember, in marriage, husband and wife must stand together against anyone who tries to break them apart. Love, trust, and God's blessings are stronger than any juju or evil plan. Build your marriage on honesty, faithfulness, and respect, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper.